Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I am one of the graduate assistants at the Writing Center, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to navigate the Purdue OWL website. So if you've ever been to the Writing Center before, we've probably talked to you about Purdue OWL, which is an online writing lab by Purdue University, and it has basically all of the information you could ever need about how to do your citations for your papers. So if you just open up your web browser or whatever system you use, I use Google Chrome, you just type in Purdue OWL and you want to click on the Writing Lab right here. So Purdue OWL Writing Lab. And then it'll take you to this page right here. So if you scroll down, um, you will see a lot of different links over here, all the different citation guides, and it's a lot of information on one website, which is why we're making this video, because sometimes it can be confusing and overwhelming to find exactly what you need. So this video should hopefully help clear some of that up. So what you want is the Research and Citation tab over here on the left. And here you will see all the different citation styles that Purdue OWL has information about. So we have the most popular ones, or they have the most common ones. APA, MLA, Chicago are the top three. And then they have additional citation styles down here as well, which aren't as commonly used, but they're used for specific departments. Um, they have the APA 6th edition because APA citation style recently updated in October of 2019. So, but they're using the 7th edition now. That is the most recent edition of APA style. But because it was just recently updated, they still have the 6th edition on their website as well. So starting, let's just go for APA just to show you. You would go to the formatting and style guide for questions about citations and stuff. And that's the same for all of these. You would want the formatting and style guide link. So we're just going to click on that. And then underneath here, it will give you the categories of what kind of citation help you would need. So if you know you need help with creating in-text citations, those are the citations that appear in the parentheses at the end of your sentences. And those are called the in-text citations. So if you know you need help with that, you would go to one of these two links. If you know you need help creating the reference list, in MLA style, that would be your works cited page. APA, it's just called the reference list. So if you know you need help creating that long list of citations at the end of your paper, that would be that information would be located in these categories. So for the in-text citations, the basics just shows you how to create a standard in-text citation. So you would see the examples that they have on the website for short quotations. And you can see here for APA style, you can put the author's name in the sentence with the year of publication, and then the quotes, and then the page number at the end, and your period goes outside the parentheses. So there's different ways of formatting quotations, and they give you examples for both versions. So here is where the author's name appears in the sentence, and then the author's name can also appear at the end of the sentence, which they don't have an example for that here, but there's just a lot of different ways, depending on how you write your sentences. That's dependent on where you put what information in the sentence itself. So you can just go here and look at the different examples and just follow along the examples that they have on the website. For longer quotations, these are what we refer to as block quotes, and this, for APA at least, direct quotations that are 40 words or longer have a specific setup. So that is all explained here. But yeah, this is for just the basic rundown of in-text citations. If you need detailed or details about how to format if there's multiple authors or if there's no author, or if there's just an editor but no author. That's all under this category right here for author/authors. And here it breaks it down by whatever kind of scenario you might be faced with in bold. So a work by 2 authors, a work by 3 or more authors. And this page has all of that information and how to format citations depending on whatever your source uses. So if it doesn't have an author, you would use this example, the organization as an author. So sometimes, especially for like textbooks and stuff like that, you'll have, well, not really textbooks, sometimes for websites, you'll have the organization as the author, and there'll be no specific individual person who wrote that page. So, for example, the American Psychological Association, that's the organization. And there would be like many, many people collaborating on that website. So there wouldn't be an individual author. It would just be the whole organization itself. And that's how you would write organization as an author. 2 or more works in the same parentheses, authors with the same last name. So as you can see, they have a lot of different scenarios that you would encounter with various sources. And you can just come here and look at whichever one matches the source that you're using. So that's for in-text citations. Now the reference list, that's the list of works that you have referred to in your paper, and that appears at the very end of your paper on a separate page. So you start a new page, you put your reference list, and then that's where you'll put all of those references. So it shows you how to format it, rules for academic journals. This is just the basic rundown again of reference list basic rules. So the ones that you use most often for the reference list, you would look for authors and authors again. So how to format your reference list with multiple authors. If you know that your source is a book, a hard copy physical book, you would go here to look up how to format the reference citation for the books. And again, it breaks it down if there's like multiple authors, no author, etc. An edition of a book, a specific chapter in a book, stuff like that. So that's where you would find all of this. And then for electronic sources, that's the other more commonly used source. So this would be like your websites, this would be any article that you find online, an online newspaper, a scholarly journal. So these are for like library databases that you would use through the library website, and like stuff like JSTOR or what's another one? Academic Search Premier. Those would be your scholarly journals and your online databases. Online news articles. So this tab over here for the electronic sources, that has all of your references, examples for electronic sources. And then if you know that you're using a YouTube video or you have a movie or documentary, that would probably be under audio visual media. See film or video, TV series, YouTube, all of this stuff that doesn't fall under the category of electronic source. Even photographs you can cite. So any of this stuff. So the Purdue OWL website really encompasses a lot of the different types of sources that you might use in a paper, and then other non-print sources. So these include like interviews. So if you're like interviewing somebody and you want to cite the person that you're interviewing, presentations, unpublished stuff, personal communication. So that's just like discussion, conversation with another person, but you want to use the information that they gave you in that conversation in your paper. So yeah, it really breaks down very detailed examples of the types of sources that you could use. So that's for APA. And then the setup for the paper, they'll always have examples of sample papers, so you can kind of see what the setup and the format should look like for your paper. This is how you format the title. This is the cover page for an APA paper, APA student paper. Now, in the recent edition of the 7th APA style, it changed. So you have a separate cover page for a student paper versus a professional paper. So this would mean like a paper to be published in a academic journal or something like that. So if you are publishing an article, or not article, if you're publishing your paper in a journal or something, you would want this setup. So they changed it so that most students submitting just their normal assignments for class, they just use the student paper setup, which is this one right here. They also have at the end of the sample, this one, at the end of the sample paper, they have the examples of how to format the reference list, which is right here. So references is bolded in the center, and then you go alphabetical order by last name, and you have the hanging indent in here. And of course, again, they have all these kinds of notes on the side, breaking everything down for you guys. So that is really helpful when you're stuck and just overwhelmed about how to format your papers. So the same thing is they have the same kind of breakdown for all the different citation styles, like MLA and Chicago and everything. And you can do the same thing here for all of these. Now, MLA, the references is called works cited, but it's the same type of thing. Just the list of like sources that you use at the end of your paper. They have the in-text citations, again, the breakdown for that, and examples of how to do them. They have the works cited page, different types of sources that you would use, the books, electronic sources, all of this stuff is the same information, kind of information. So you see images, articles, scholarly journals, emails even. And the same thing again with Chicago style. So that's the useful part about Purdue OWL. And again, if there is something that you can't find that you're looking for, then try just looking at like one of the categories that you might not think your question would fall under. So because sometimes it gets confusing about like where a specific source, what a specific source might be categorized as. So my advice is to just click on all the links here. If you can't find what you're looking for, it might be under a different category than what you thought. So that is pretty much how you use Purdue OWL. So when we tell you guys for your citation questions to go and use Purdue OWL, this is what we're talking about. As you can see, again, it's very detailed. It gives you superb examples and multiple examples sometimes for how to cite something. And again, if you have any questions after this, then you can come back for a follow-up appointment with us and we'll help walk you through how to make some more citations. But Purdue OWL really does have all the information that you would need, and it should be able to answer most, if not all, of your citation questions.